Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another members panel stream. I'm your host, Teladiaplays, and I'm joined by my special guest at this time, 𝐂𝐲𝐶𝐓.
Hey.
So, Pika, how you been? I know it's been like 3 months.
Yeah, it has been putting a lot of work into the stuff, and also I've been creating, doing stuff, and also we've been trying to collect items to help me dress up as my avatar. This is a new shirt and new gloves.
Ah, I see. Nice, nice.
I'd be also wearing the red flannel shirt, but it's too warm.
Yeah, it is warm. Here in the UK, we've got a heat wave going on right now. Hence why I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's probably been winded or traveled all the way over here too.
We've got like a heat wave on. I've got a fan on to kind of keep me cool. But
yeah, I also have it, but I'll turn it on when it gets too warm.
Yeah, it's definitely hot here. So we're here to talk about a number of topics. And guys, if you're new around here, feel free to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button because it'd be super appreciative to be on that road to 5K. And also, guys, if you're new around here, you want to become a member, and you too can join, be like Pika and join on the members panel. Then hit that join button, guys. It's not that difficult. You hit that join button. It's from 0 cents to $4.99. You could choose any tier, and you'll be on the members panel stream for the next month. But without further ado, let's talk about today's topics. We got a lot to go over. I hope everyone enjoys today's stream because we have got a number of things to go over. First topic we're going to be going over is the WB game sale? Question mark?
Yeah.
So, Pika, so there is a thing I saw on social media that, Sony could be buying PlayStation. And here it is. Right? It says here, Sony is exploring the idea of buying Warner Bros. Games' various gaming assets. That's according to new report that surfaced this week, according to SES Scoops or SC Scoops. Sony is interested in buying Warner Bros. Streaming and studio assets. Those assets reports would include the company's HBO Max streaming service and its various IPs and gaming assets. Sources say Sony was the only interested in acquiring WBD's streaming and studio and gaming assets if they were separated from its cable networks, which has lost millions of homes as viewers abandon the traditional cable package. The report reads. It also says WBD announced on June 9th, which was about a month ago, that it was splitting the company into two separate entities. WBD's streaming and studio and the WBD Global Network. The split, which is scheduled to complete mid-2026, would see all of its companies' linear assets such as TNT, CNN, and Discovery under the Global Network's wing. Streaming and studios include HBO Max, games, production services, and more on the other side. But that was followed up by June 17th with the news that Warner Bros. Games was restructuring its division based on its key franchises, including a new division will focus on Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and the DC Universe, which is going to be headed up by NetherRealm's studio, head of studio for NetherRealm, not Ed Boon, the other guy. So he's going to be overseeing that. And then it also says here, Insider Gaming has reached out to both Warner Bros. Discovery and Sony for comment on the claims. Should response be received, they'll be added to the story. What do you guys think of the story? So, Pika, what do you think about this story?
Let's see. If they would, First of all, it's a speculation leading up to waiting for new information. But if we go by the fact that it would go through, Sony has its own studios and game and how they're all making games. If they merge WB Games with them,
Yes.
that would say put the W Games in basically under the same how would say same net as most of the Sony's games right now, which would be so far like which was just exclusively Sony games would be first of all, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, DC, and Mortal Kombat. If they put them in there, it would be on the same kind of like with the Uncharted games or Last of Us or basically they're not doing those anymore. But the games that are still in active and not have been retired.
But in terms of Sony acquiring.
Yes, with Sony, we go with the development parts.
So Zeke is saying that Sony can't complain about not having a Mario level IP. True. Sony can't complain about not having a Mario level IP, right? That's true. But when it comes down to WB Games selling it to Sony, that's a big deal for Sony. That's a big deal for WB Games. WB Games will make its money back. The IP such as Mortal Kombat can be money hat to Sony. The new Batman game can also be money hat to Sony as well.
You had trousers on?
Sorry about that. That's just my younger brother shouting and screaming.
Okay, if we think about it, looking at it going to Sony, that would actually get those IPs some fresh idea people and develop from the storytelling and development part. Would be like what gameplay aspects and what kind of new stories to tell with those IPs. Not sure about what you can do with Game of Thrones, even if they're using the same characters for the show, like with the show and the House of the Dragon, if in what kind of game stories you can tell there, or if you can retell them with different the story of like what if scenarios. Harry Potter could still be the.
It's like I said, when it comes down to IP such as Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, that will definitely go on to Sony will take advantage of that, right? DC, the Batman Arkham games, that'll be the more focal point for that.
Yeah,
and that's what I personally think, right?
We didn't talk about how the. I think we previously spoke about when I was on about the Arkham Asylum remake.
Yeah. Just thinking about if this happens, obviously the divisions are split, but when they officially complete it, the split and everything, Sony picks it up. I can see WB Games selling off their gaming division, like NetherRealm, Rocksteady, WB Montreal to Sony, and Sony just saying, "You make us this game, you make us that game," right? It doesn't have to even be. It doesn't have to even be a Batman Arkham game. It can be a different IP and on its own entity. So,
kind of like what maybe Gotham Knights could have been if they had a better vision on it, or if they had an idea that okay, these are the IPs and the characters. Do this game and come up with a genre that works. Don't try to make a AAA mobile game or something that requires microtransactions and gear grindings and crafting and crafting, but must on crafting custom parts or so that. Just do that stuff And also they could actually look at like older games, like for example, like how Aris made a video on the Batman Begins game from the PS2. Like they could also take a look at different genres and use that to just tell a story using those game mechanics.
Right, yeah. But honestly, though, when it comes down to WB Game Sale, only time will tell when it comes down to this stuff. We will keep you up to date on that news. I'll definitely make videos on it, and I'm sure Pika will definitely be a part when I make a panel. If there is a sale happening, and it does happen, and obviously we'll be the first channel to report on it. But
Yeah,
we were the first of many to report on it. But yeah, is there anything else you want to add, Pika, or?
If they actually kind of comes to think about something like if they have a good story and if I can remake some things that, like with Harry Potter, do you know how there was there? I think there still is the Hogwarts mystery game. That's something that they could probably remake as a bigger game.
Yeah,
like that was a good. That is a good story that you can create your own character and be a student from year 1 to year 7, and then in the adult life before the events of the books. That's something that they should do. Like the story is there, they could just take that story and try to apply it on bigger hardware than just smartphones. Okay,
yes.
That's maybe something most I can think to say. Otherwise,
We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll have to wait and see on that front here. All right. Next up on our list is 007. Da-da-da-da. Yes, 007 First Light. What do you think? Firstly, Pika, what do you think of the trailer?
It's pretty very. Okay, it's leading on to the books more, and they had Patrick Gibson is playing the younger Bond.
Is it Patrick Gibson or is it somebody else? Because
it's supposed to be Patrick Gibson, the same guy who plays the young Dexter.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure who plays him, but all I know is it's not official. There's not official word who is playing Bond.
I thought it was him.
But that's a rumor. It's not like coming officially. The one thing I do know though is like when I saw the trailer at the State of Play, I was just like, why? I had my eyes popping. I could not believe Bond is finally getting a Hitman style video game.
Yeah. The fact that it's been done by the Hitman developers, it shows that that is actually something that I said a bit just previously. Mechanics and ways of previous games, and apply that to a different IP, and then just tailor it to make it match it. Because like using a Hitman style game on James Bond.
Yeah. And it's like the gameplay mechanics, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss when it comes down to the style that you're gonna you can go in any direction. You can go stealth or you can go all guns blazing from what they said. And it's like that's unique, right?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to a few weeks ago I streamed the From Russia with Love, the video game adaptation of From Russia with Love. That also kind of had the utilization of you can use stealth to make it a little easier, but otherwise it's gunplay, or not actually gunplay, but you have the Walter P99 gun that Connery's Bond has, and it's that was the 60s kind of aesthetic. That was fun, and it also kind of borrows the aesthetic, but it still keeps it in something of a modern day, or it could be some kind of amalgamation of the 60s or the era when Ian Fleming wrote the books, and make it kind of be like, if the year is not mentioned, that would actually make it more of a timeless game.
Yes, agreed. So, shall we show them the trailer so then people can get recognized on what we're talking about?
Joo.
All right, screen share. 007 First Light. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking
His
about,
parents
guys.
cut their own rope to save him.
This is like an
He
origin.
won't fall.
Yeah. That actually is that they mentioned in the, I don't think that in the most movies, but it was in Spectre where they mentioned that Bond's parents died in a mountain climbing accident.
Yes, they mentioned it in a couple of Bond films, which was GoldenEye and also I believe in Spectre, but they've
Yeah,
never done
well,
it in a video game.
Yeah, most of what I know is a Spectre one, because there they made a huge number out of it by making Blofeld be Bond's adoptive brother.
Yes. So let's carry on.
He's old.
Amazon is making this.
Started a grand tour of every major board
This is
school in
Greenway.
Always at the top of his class.
Britain, always at odds with authority. Same thing in the Navy.
So
His
he went.
superiors all praise his instincts.
And they're all in
That's
need
Sam.
of early retirement.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what to do with him, Mom.
Having it
No.
be the female
Yes.
M at this point could actually maybe be something of a synergy with the Craig Bond films, since they carried over Judi Dench from Brosnan's era, and then switched, and eventually when she died, she was replaced by Ralph Fiennes.
But this is cool though.
I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland.
I think the Iceland thing will be the prologue of the what's the word I'm looking for? Prologue.
Opening level.
Opening level of the video game. I think it's going to be the tutorial level, show you what to do.
Iceland was
So,
insubordination.
well,
It was ill-disciplined.
But let's just look at it.
utterly reckless.
Awesome.
He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in a program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway. It's really quite simple.
Bond.
is a bullet without a target.
And there you go.
Let's give him one.
Yeah.
That is the new James Bond.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they have been actually something that is it supposed to be patented? I have the Wikipedia article open. I'm just gonna Control F. Okay, no hits on who's playing it. Yeah, you were right.
But you see that he's got a scar there. Apparently,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
supposed. That's something that I looked at the comment section when I watched the trailer. That they mentioned that he has the scar in the books. The movies didn't carry it over to any of the actors.
So that's going to be interesting.
But then there's also kind of, when there's something. Dominic Noble does the video comparing.
This is
Moneypenny.
Moneypenny, yeah. Sorry, not M.
Yeah.
She reminds me so much of the 1980s Moneypenny.
She was in Living Daylights and.
No.
Because Lois Maxwell got replaced by the other actor in Living Daylights.
No, what I mean is those big square glasses. You don't get those big square glasses.
That other actress had those glasses. Now that you mentioned, pointed them out.
Yeah, they don't. It's kind of crazy. So.
And you are? Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Hold on. Let's rewind it. What do you think that car is?
Aston Martin.
It's an Aston Martin, yeah. It's a prototype. And as you can see,
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Q is overseeing it. That's Q. Q with the mustache. I kind of miss Desmond Llewellyn. I kind of miss him.
Yeah, he was. That guy carried a lot of those movies as a linchpin to the previous films, and it's kind of a shame that John Cleese only got maybe
One.
one movie and one video game as the next queue.
Yeah. Omega for the watch. And he does have,
Shouldn't have.
and this is his training section.
We're facing a situation of the
Hmm.
utmost delicacy.
And this is M's office.
I need all my
So
pieces.
you can steal things,
Uh,
on
which
the
I find
board.
it cool.
you know, now that I actually
009 is a master
I was about to bring up that this is kind of Archer-ish also.
You think so?
Well, Archer was mostly of a parody of it, but there was some guy when Dominic Noble did a video comparing Goldfinger book to the movie, and talked about how Bond was portrayed differently in the book compared to Connery, and he just had a kind of realization that Archer is more of an accurate adaptation.
Yes.
It coming.
As you can see here, guns blazing. Jet lag
Jet lag.
gets me every
Gets me every
time.
time.
She's not your friend, Bond. She's an asset.
With
As you
respect,
can
ma'am.
see, he just used the gadget there. Did you see that? Laser. Epic.
That mom.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny thing that you also. Well,
What
it
do you
carried
think?
over from most of the
What do
and
you think?
car levels.
Car level, yes, but what car do you think this is? Hey, what's up, Tevia?
Could be a chase sequence. Most Bond games have, or either a chase or
Not good.
trying to escape.
So, here's another thing I want to bring up.
Oh.
It's a DB. I think it's a V8. I think it's a V8 Vantage, or of just a DBS. One of those cars that Roger Moore drove, not on the Bond film, but another film.
If they have kind of amalgamate some different elements from different Bond eras and make it be more something of a timeless game, that would help it not get dated or age too much. But it could still have the charm of the usual Bond.
Now look at this.
Tell me, what do you do, James?
Lately,
Lately,
headhunting.
headhunting.
That's a kind of a Brosnan. So I think about how many Bonds use that kind of line of what did they do for a living or work. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies is the one that's kind of where he was undercover as a banker.
Yes. But you see here, they're using her secret majesty, his secret majesty, her secret majesty, a secret service majesty. I can't remember.
In
But
her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, that's it, right? They're using that soundtrack. It's just amazing, right? And then I think this guy is 009. That's what I think. I could be wrong.
You know that we don't know who it could be, but you think they could use what was the Sean Bean's character from GoldenEye as the, or what was it? Alec Trevelyan. He was 006 or 008. 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 006 in GoldenEye. But this, with this shot right here, it was just great to see. Then the reveal of First Light. Let's go. Now this,
I suppose this is another.
what do you think of this?
Kind of
Then
this is
the-
actually kind of a Dalton movie set piece. Looks kind of one of those,
No,
or some more scene. So either or late Moore or the other?
I think it's
Dalton?
like Roger Moore type of thing, like crocodiles and
Yeah, oh yeah, he had that one scene where he was trapped with that alligator and had to boing boing
jump.
boing boing boing.
Yeah, that that was awesome.
Hmm.
And then it says
Yeah.
here, coming in 2026.
You know, did he have any tuxedo scenes in the trailer?
Yes.
Okay, there was that one scene. It was in the about headhunting, or was it that also
Yeah.
other? Yeah,
No, it
because
was-
I was thinking, because otherwise it's just a turtleneck and the neck outfit and
It
the
was this scene here.
and with the jacket. Otherwise, he's but having him like final if the game is mostly with those outfits, and then in the final level or somewhere close, it's gonna be a money shot when he steps into the camera wearing the tux.
That'd be cool. But yeah, so you get the golden gun. It's called the Gilded Wrath. If you
Yeah.
make an account with IO Interactive.
Scaramankas, Christopher Lees.
Scaramanga the Mild, the golden gun. And then
No one can catch him, no hitman can match him.
and then the Spectre type of look from the outfit.
Yeah, turtleneck costume.
Yeah,
It's kind of the and could have been expected, but that's kind of something that Archer basically took and owned with the whole turtleneck look.
Yeah. I'm definitely very much excited for 007 First Light. I think considering we showed the trailer, hopefully I don't get flagged for it. Yeah, it's great. Thank you, Tevia. Yeah, so it's like I'm definitely invested in the game. I think personally 007 First Light would be the only game I'll pick up next year. What about you?
Yeah, depends when it gets to. Doesn't say
It has-
when it's gonna come out, but I'm probably gonna see about it.
It has to be before GTA 6. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, something like that people get to buy and play before people get busy with GTA 6.
I'll be honest with you, you've got a 2 months window. Or 3 months window. You can release it within those 3 months.
Yeah. Then there's also Resident Evil 9, but that's different issue. But
That's
that fandom is a
Niche
different
market.
niche.
Yeah. But it's like this game, 007 hasn't had a game in a long time.
Yeah, it was the
What's up,
previous
DC
game. It
fans?
was the 007 Legends, and before that there was just From Russia with Love and Everything or Nothing.
Tevia says his hope that this game comes out after GTA 6. I doubt it, Tevia. Because
GTA 6 is gonna bury a lot of games.
Yeah, GTA 6 is gonna bury a lot of games. A lot of games. There's also like Injustice, which we'll talk about in a bit, right? There's also that too. So yeah, 2026, this game comes out. Can't wait for us. I'll be streaming this on YouTube. I'll be doing a full walkthrough of it on YouTube Live. Might bring guests on, I don't know, but we'll definitely have a fun time. And week by week, leading up to the release of the game, I might even do a little podcast for it. I don't know yet. I might make a Bond podcast.
Yeah,
So I might see. I'll have to see if I can get something done for that. All right. Next topic. The Batman Part 2 script has been done. And now let's talk about predictions.
Oh. So let's actually the whole announcement was Matt Reeves tweeting a blurry picture of himself with Mattson Tomlin about partners in crime fighters. Could that be a clue?
Yeah, it is a clue. I think Robin will be introduced in this game. Not in this game, in this movie. I think Robin might be introduced.
It's considering how there's been a gap between the movies now, and Robert Pattinson has also said that he feels like he has grown. He started out as a younger Batman, and he's closing into his 40s. He thinks that he also comes to feel like he's getting too old to play a young Batman. So if he's gonna be an older Batman, then he should have a Robin at this point when the movie comes out.
And by the way, DC Fanverse, I totally get it. It's just a prediction. We're just having fun, so we kind of can make a prediction or a theory. It's fun to do these types of like speculation type of thing, and for fans to kind of guess wild out in the aisles and to kind of guess what is in store for the Matt Reeves, the Batman Part 2. Because I think that's the whole fun of speculation, is to guess. Just imagine the theories, those types of things that I love about, doing these types of stuff, is to theorize about things. What can they do with the Batman Part 2 script? It's like, what sort of stories can they tell? What sort of, events can fold into a bigger universe, so to say.
Yeah,
like
looking at what characters we have had so far, it could be about, well, they mostly got rid of most of the organized crime. We mostly have the Gigante family there, and the Penguin show set up something about Catwoman and Sophia maybe teaming up to do something, since they are half sisters.
I'm interested to see if Penguin returns. I'm interested to see that. If the Penguin makes like a little cameo. I would like to see Tony Zuko make an appearance.
Well, if they're gonna use Dick Grayson Robin in any kind of form, either he is a player or he is a flashback character. Depends on if we get Robin immediately, or if we have Robin already and then flashback to his origin. Actually, Robin's origin is actually something that has not been done to death.
Yeah, Robin's origin has been a mixture of Dick Grayson and Tim Drake. That's what they've done previously.
Yeah, well, Tim Drake's origin is mostly that he just knew Batman and was Robin-less, and basically he tried to convince Dick Grayson to go back to being Robin from not being Nightwing, and then when that happened, didn't work, he just applied for the job.
Yeah. But when it comes down to the Batman, I think because it's a more grounded universe, and it comes out in 2027, it kind of makes sense to have a Robin with a Batman, right? And to make it more interesting and more intriguing, you could do some of the characters that they've not introduced yet. Harvey Dent, Two-Face. They haven't introduced him yet. They haven't introduced... they've introduced Joker. We've seen Joker too many times.
Yeah.
What other characters? The Court of Owls. They've never done the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls and Robin.
The Court of Owls is actually something that, I recently covered Court of Owls, and that's something that Scott Snyder introduced them in one way, and then he pretty much undid them, basically to give the next. This is my assumption, so that other writers after him could build them back in a rebuilt form. So it supposedly depends on the execution on how they do Court of Owls, and also at what point of Batman's career. Like it's supposedly be around the Dick Grayson Robin era. And then there's actually that other thing that, there's the one of the head talons that they had that the Court of Owls used, named William Cobb,
Yeah.
who is Dick Grayson's great grandfather. So if they want to use Robin, that could actually, they could use that aspect. But then there's also the whole thing that Matt Reeves decided to turn Penguin's name from Oswald Cobblepot to just Oswald Cobb.
But I also feel the Court of Owls with Dick Grayson's introduction, put them together, it's a big deal for the Batmans.
Yes, and that would actually be a good justification for to do the court could actually want to, because that's what they were doing in the Court of Owls story, because Dick Grayson was supposed to become a Talon.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Haley Circus, it was basically like a gladiator arena with headhunters looking at different trapeze artists and other ones that are basically looking at potential Talons. And Dick Grayson was supposed to be one of them until Tony Zucco had his parents killed and Bruce adopted Dick.
Like I said, I'm still excited for it. I'm
that's
still excited.
Story potential that Matt Reeves could be using.
Yeah. It's still exciting though. It's still exciting when it comes down to the Batman Part 2. Only time will tell. I don't think we're going to get anything this year for San Diego Comic-Con for the Batman Part 2.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be next year Comic-Con. We've got some big news.
Yeah. They probably, if the script is now done, then now it's the pre-production phase where they need to scout locations, get actors, and once all that's done, they should probably be filming next year. So next year's Comic-Con, they probably would have
50%
basically what
of this.
BVS had back in 2014.
No, it'll be halfway through shooting, so it starts at the end of this year, filming. So when Doom Messiah, when Doom Messiah's filming, Robert Pattinson will be filming at the same time. He's doing two things: Dune Messiah and the Batman Part 2, according to a friend of mine. But I'm excited, and I can't wait to see the Batman Part 2. And we'll be sure to cover that on the channel, like extensively, once there's more news on that. All right. Next up, so let me just do the transition. I forgot to do that. I totally forgot to do that before. All right. DC Studios. Yes. Now we got officially some news on DC Studios from interviews and so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
So the first bit of news is James Gunn kind of talked about Wonder Woman. And he mentioned the fact that Wonder Woman, it won't be the next film we'll see her. It'll be like soon, but it won't be that soon.
So it would be like in the would be in animated form, like how they had the silhouetted Batman in the Creature Commandos, or
no, it'll be like something along the lines of they've got something big for it. So
like if she appears in the Supergirl movie, or
no, he didn't say that. But he said that the Wonder Woman is a key factor for this universe. Same with the Batman. Batman Brave and the Bold. We are going to be getting something for Batman Brave and the Bold as well. We are going to be getting something for that soon. he did mention about the trunks thing.
Yeah.
Batman
You
trunks
know,
or no trunks? Come on, I want to
you
hear your
know,
thoughts on that.
I have just recently been thinking about how the trunks could be justified in the, for functionality, the trunks would be usable for the costume to basically, because they basically have where put the costumes on in the back while having a zippers or some other things there. And Christian Bale made the whole big deal about the suits that make sure you can piss in that suit. Yeah, so it would be easy that if you have a zipper in there for bathroom breaks, the trunks could be to cover that. That's
Oh
something.
no!
Sorry.
Well, this ain't diaper. This is not the Adventures of Diaper Man, you know.
No, I know it's not, but it's just I was trying not to make fun of it. It was just some way of saying it.
I mean, I get that. I mean,
But actually, this is actually an issue has been come and gone. But when it comes I also realized a rule of thumb when it came to like if Superman costume should have trunks. And
David.
this has come and this is an issue that has come and gone. So I'm pretty late to the party in saying this. But
so we'll talk about the trunks for Superman in the Superman part. But for the
late. Okay. I'll save that for later. Let's talk about that minute. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but for this, DC Studios is that Batman could potentially might not have trunks for his suit. And it's like, I'm just like, okay. I mean, if he doesn't have trunks, it's not the end of the world. If he has trunks, but from a aesthetic standpoint,
you know how 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐄𝐓 has been drawing Batman in some versions.
Mm-hmm.
In some versions, it's been done so that it looks like it's trunks, but rather instead it's like it's the costume has different lines and top and sewing lines and toppings, body armor parts, which are coming up and discoloring it and making it making something of an illusion that Batman has trunks, when it's really just a certain lack of armor or something that makes it easier to be flexible and agile to move.
Yes.
Like it looks like there's trunks when there really isn't.
Exactly. Only time will tell on that. But we do know one thing for sure, though. James Gunn is definitely not going to put trunks on Batman, which I find interesting. But he puts it on for Superman. I think that's a bit dumb in my opinion, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do to change that. But we did get some news on Wonder Woman, and that Wonder Woman is definitely going to be a part of the DCU soon. We don't know when. It could be anytime in the next, anytime in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
DC Fanvis says, good. Hope he doesn't have trunks. It looks so weird in live action. Yeah, pretty much. We also got news. Clayface. Clayface. I know this is a different subject, but Clayface is going to be releasing, I think it's 2027, 2027.
2026. It's scheduled to be released on September 11th, 2026.
Okay, so September 11th, Clayface has got a solid release window. It's got an actor. It's got its director. And guys, I gotta say, it's looking good. if you're a Batman guy, you've got something Batman related next year. If you're into your horror films, this is the one for you.
This is actually, when we think about it, they should have probably done the whole Clayface movie. Okay, I'm trying to phrase this the right way.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Clayface thing, that they should have probably started doing this or announcing that they're making this after the Joker came out and do it instead of Joker 2.
Yeah. They shouldn't have done Joker 2. They should have just done Clayface first,
Yeah,
then
or
Joker 2.
literally anything else, because
Or even Harley Quinn. Do a
Yeah.
Harley Quinn movie.
yeah, it was like after the Joker made the hit back in 2019, the iron was hot. They should have just kept hitting it while it was hot with other characters, like make a Two-Face movie or a Bane movie or those other kind of movies. I remember seeing some people speculating or making articles about have Sylvester Stallone play Ted Grant's Wildcat.
What?
Well, that was something that someone was predicting or just making an opinion piece. Because Ted Grant, it just would be just him playing the old man Rocky and Balboa again, but as Ted Grant Wildcat. Because Ted Grant is a boxer, just like him. It would be like one of the most obvious castings.
No. You can't have Sylvester Stallone. I think if you're going to do Sylvester Stallone's already playing King Shark. And King Shark is a shark. So
Yeah.
you can't change that.
Yeah, well, this was long before James Gunn was put into making the Suicide Squad.
But if I was put in charge, I would do a Harley Quinn, Joker, Harley Quinn and Joker movie set in the Batman universe.
Hmm.
And DC could make a lot of bank from that.
Yeah, just use the aesthetics that they made with the flashbacks from the 2016 Suicide Squad. They had the costumes and the right lighting and other things that they could pretty much also have done Mad Love.
They could have done Mad Love, but they never did. They just did little bits here and there. And it wasn't good for Joker 2. But still, I've never seen Joker 2, and I never will.
Yeah, you're not gonna make much.
I dodged that bullet. So
Yeah, I went to see it with the same people with whom I saw the first one. Mostly because we were all curious. It was closing off a circle in a sense.
I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for you. But bringing it back to DC Studios, though, I think personally we'll get some more stuff at SDCC. San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest convention, for Comic-Con. And with Supergirl wrapped up, Lanterns almost halfway through its season. So it's like, surely they got something for those two, movie and show. Surely they got to show something for that. And then you got to remember Peacemaker season 2. They got to hype that up too. So it's like a hype trailer for Peacemaker, and then you kind of just saw something for Supergirl and Lanterns. That will tie people over up to next year, and then next year you can drop the other things.
Yeah.
I think
trailers. We're likely going to get trailers.
I think sneak peeks.
Yeah, behind the scenes sneak peeks.
Yeah, and I think it'd be exclusive to Hall H, because DC is the only company that's going to be attending Hall H this year. Marvel is skipping this year, so DC is going to make the most of it while they still can.
Yeah.
So, I think that's quite a lot to think about. I'm just taking a look and see. Just follow me. All right. Shall we talk about Superman then?
Yeah.
All right. Transition. All right. Superman. The hype for it. There's been loads and loads and loads and loads of marketing for this movie.
Yes, and I have been very vocal about. I have been keeping my expectations low for the exhibit purpose that if it can either blow. If I have a low expectations, I can either have my mind blown up with how great of a movie it's gonna be, or be, safe from a disappointment if it's below average. But otherwise, but still, that it's better to expect to be. If I want to be have my mind blown, have it be a good movie, and that's basically the way to go with it.
Okay. So,
but I bought my ticket today.
That's good to hear. We got a question, and we'll bring our another guest in. So firstly, DC Fanverse says the hype is real. Just got back from the UK fan event. Ooh, watched about 20 minutes of the movie. Meet the cast and Q&A with them. Dude, I want to interview you. When you got a chance, hit me up in DMs at Teladiaplays _ on Twitter. We'll get you in for an interview, man, for sure. And let's bring on my guest at this time.
Hello.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. So this is the part where we're talking about Superman, Jared.
All right,
yes.
cool.
So we'll be talking about it. And the bigger the marketing, Jared, the bigger it's looking good.
By the way, did you see that Corn Sweat was talking about he'd love a love triangle with Wonder Woman?
No, we're not talking about that here, Jared.
I'm just saying.
We're not talking about that here, Jared.
No, that's one way to get engagement from a fans
exactly,
like you.
Exactly.
But we're here to talk about the fact that the marketing for it has been great. The fact that
the part that's kind of concerning me, it's his overseas numbers. But there have been a lot of movies this year that have been successful that didn't do that great overseas. So it's not that big of a thing.
I mean, for here in the UK, it's kind of a big deal because Superman is on the shard of the UK. He's got his little thing. All you got to do is look up and see the.
What I mean is that in terms of it being monetarily successful, if it could take some time to get momentum, which I'm fine with that.
I think also as well the fact that interviews are doing well.
Yep.
It's not been bad interviews after bad interviews. It's all been positive interviews. So that's really cool to see.
And honestly, here's the thing. There is legit fan hype for this movie. There is a lot of people that are really excited. Now, will that translate to the film actually making money? It could not, as we saw with The Flash, but I'm leaning more toward, in this case, it being successful in that it's is that whenever there's any discussion of this movie, most of the time it's positive stuff.
So, and as DC Fanverse said, the hype is real. He just went to the UK fan event, watched 20 minutes of the film, met the cast, and did a Q&A with them. So
20 minutes, as in does realize, is it the first 20 minutes or 20 minutes somewhere in the middle?
I don't know.
I thought it was the first half hour of the movie.
All we know is the fact that UK did a fan event. I know this because I got a friend who was at the fan event actually, and he's been posting a lot, and he was there and he's having a lovely time, and he's been hyped for it. Okay, DC fan versus compared to The Flash, it's night and a day.
Well, yeah, exactly.
First 20 minutes.
The first 20 minutes. Okay, cool. So that's pretty cool. And honestly, I'm excited.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm excited because obviously I've been high expectation for this, like expectations for a Superman film for a long, long time. I've been saying I want a Superman film. I need a Superman film. We need a Superman film to kind of end the drought of the Batman. Or Batman related characters. We need to end that drought.
We need characters other than Batman making movies, because in all likelihood, all you people crying for this to like fail, guess what? Let's say this movie fails, we're just gonna get Batman movies. I don't think the movie will fail, but I'm just saying in that case, I'm like, guys, come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's hope it makes its money back and then some.
I think also we got to also take this in consideration, the fact that comics are going to be pushed with the movie is a big deal.
Teledia, how many times have I been telling DC to do that?
I mean, literally, I mean, in screenings. So when you go do the screenings, they give us a free comic. Like, when has like that's the most hype thing ever.
Because honestly, here's the thing: you have love him or hate him, James Gunn respects the comic book source material. So he's like, okay, why don't I actually highlight the books that inspire these movies? Because it makes no sense to not highlight them, because we don't have a movie if there aren't any comics.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah, that's true. The inspiration and blueprint.
I just think it's a good idea that at least James Gunn is putting out like free comics for certain screenings.
Yeah,
using this comic, using that comic, using that and that.
It's like All-Star Superman comic. We're going to be getting a heroic screening, like a hero screening in the UK. So if you go to that specific hero screening, you get a free comic with.
Well, the other thing it does is it encourages people like collectors to go to these screenings because they're like, I want that comic.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, what's his name? William from the Sci-Fi Center. If you're watching this, let's put it like this. I know you'll be looking for hero screenings just to pick up those comics. I know you.
As you should.
As he should. I know you. Anyway, but bringing it back to the Superman hype, I'm excited. I cannot wait to do a hype stream. Now, if you guys don't know what hype stream means, it will be celebrating the movie on a Saturday. Not on a Friday, because I'm seeing the movie on a Friday, but on a Saturday, I'll be doing a hype stream. We'll have guests on. Viewers are going to be allowed to come in, talk about the movie, not to talk about the comic, but to talk about the movie. No spoilers will be allowed, but we'll be talking about our hype for it. We'll be talking about why we what makes us a Superman fan. What makes us a Superman fan? Like, besides the obvious comic thing, like what kind of got us into it. And also, like, we're going into this thing, making brilliant, thoughts on predictions. And speaking of predictions, we're doing a little sneak peek for you here on the members panel. Pika, considering you're the first guest of the stream on the members panel, prediction for the opening box office weekend. Go.
Okay, if we go look at how many people are going to first see it, it could be obviously it's gonna maybe more than 100 million for the first opening weekend. That's like the most hopeful way of looking at it. If it reaches like 200, that's gonna be even bigger of a deal. But that also kind of thinking of if it's gonna be domestic over in US or internationally with like how you and I were representing Europe. Then there's also other countries like Japan and China and over there. That sum that it's gonna be, if it's gonna be like domestic and international box office, that could hopefully go above 100, maybe to 200, or if it How much did BVS make by when that came? Because that was a
800
that was a record break in the first place before it became the record breaking.
850, I think it was.
Around that,
Around that board mark, 850 for BVS. But I think considering this is a Superman film starting off a new universe, for me personally, it has to reach 650 to 700 million mark.
Yeah, that's about where I in terms of total box office, I think, let me put it this way, my range of how much it'll make is slightly less than Man of Steel at worst. That's at worst. At best, it makes the Batman numbers. I'm still not convinced it'll break $1 billion. I could be wrong on that, but I think that like the Batman numbers is like a nice little safe ceiling, if you will.
Fair assessment would so be somewhere between 600 and 800 million total.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, because I was just talking about the opening weekend stuff, but if we go by total, and it also depends on how many people watch it twice or 3 times or more than once. Because
yes, that is a good point, because let's not forget, in the subsequent weeks, we have like Fantastic Four and stuff. What I want to see, because I want to see the second and third week like fall off, if there is any, because that was part of the reason why people think BVS was a failure. But the other thing, it's like I want to see if like Fantastic Four will cannibalize people into because here's the thing. Yes, people could we could get another Barbenheimer situation, but the problem is with how expensive movie tickets are, it could be people choose and then they go see Fantastic Four. Again, that's just a like concern, but it's not. I still think in terms of opening, I think it'll do fairly well.
By the way, for economic comparison, how much do the movie tickets cost over there?
In the UK? So IMAX is £18 for IMAX tickets. Normal tickets are about $4 or $5. Normal tickets.
Jaren, in the US.
Let me check.
Because the ticket I bought myself today was 18.90 euros.
So for me, it would be, I'm just going to go to a random day and pick a day.
No, but I'm talking about DC FanFest. I'm talking about IMAX on Cineworld. That's how much it cost me.
So for me, it's like for a matinee showing, if I want to see in the morning, it's like for essentially IMAX XD tickets, it's $15 per.
Well, there's also the difference if you go to see the movie during the weekend or during a weekday.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, it's like if it's like around that's a little concern because if people go with like large groups and gatherings, that limits the amount of movies they can go to. Now, again, it could be like people just go see both, or like the week after Fantastic Four, it like picks up for Superman. I don't know, but we'll see on that, because this is one of the first times in my memory that we've had a Marvel movie coming out so close to a DC movie.
I know
that.
that.
Last time that
I know that for different areas it varies for price tickets, but for my cinema nearest to me, it was nearly £20 for IMAX. For other areas though, I know it's like $10, and I'm just like, okay. And it's like, I want to be the most comfortable position I can be to watch this film. I wish I could see an IMAX. I want to go and see an IMAX. I'm probably end up going to see it twice. I'll probably end up going to see it once with my partner, and then take my elder brother and tell him to come. Oh, why don't you come and see Superman with me? And he and I going to see Superman in IMAX. So that'd be nice for me and him to do. But yeah, honestly, I personally think it has to be $650 to $700 million at the box office opening weekend. That's the trajectory I think it should make.
Yeah, as a ceiling, yeah, I would say that. I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so I'm very much interested to see where exactly the post-credit scenes, because you got to remember there is a post-credit scene for each.
Yeah, but Gunn did say those post-credits aren't gonna set up a future movie.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be just some. If there was like a loose thread or something that the movie left with the
or a joke or something like that.
Yeah, like the Bruce Campbell cameo in Doctor Strange 2, for example. That was one thing.
But I'll say this before we wrap up and all that. I'll say that it's going to be very exciting. I'm excited for next Friday. I got my Superman merch. I'm very much can't wait to do a hype stream. Can't wait to talk about Superman with Siobhan, the geek of 𝐂𝐓, as me and her are going to be discussing this extensively when we do a stream together. And it's going to be very much cool to bring fans in, talk about the experience, talk about their likes and dislikes for the film, and also tell us about like what they do at the event. I can't wait to hear different people's experiences going to see this film. So I can't wait for that. But by the way, Jared, I know you're not a Bond fan. I know you're.
I like Bond.
Well, you like Bond?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay, tell me what you think of 007 First Light.
Is that the new game trailer?
Yeah.
It looks good. I like the idea of having a younger Bond because you've told all the stories you can of like a Bond that's like senior, if you, for lack of a better term, senior. That's like more experienced. So it's cool to see Bond maybe in the beginning of his career as a spy, and the graphics look really good.
All right. Cool. Okay. Thanks for letting us know. DC Fan versus and the fan event interview is dropping in a few minutes. Okay, I'll be sure to check that out. Thank you for letting us know, DC Fanverse. But guys, I think that's a good way to wrap things up. I know we went a little bit over an hour, but it's been. I know Jared came in at the last 15 minutes of the stream. But I wanted to let him have a say about the Superman stuff because I know he's just, he likes DC, so I kind of want to get him involved in that. And he said that he wouldn't be here till 5, so it's like I'm like okay. But anyway, Jared, where can they find you or where you're coming up on your channel?
All right, so I just released my new Wonder Woman Wednesday where I talk about Tom Tresser as a Wonder Woman love interest. And Britt and I are celebrating 100 episodes of Super Wonder on my channel. For movie night, we're going to be doing Transformers 1. And then I'll be doing my Wonder Woman Q&A on Sunday, which will be discussing the Gail Simone run for Wonder Woman. Oh, and Under Two Capes, we're going to be talking about which Marvel Rivals characters we want on Friday.
Right. Okay, cool. Pika, where can they find you on social media? What have you coming up on your channel? And also,
well, my socials are it's pretty much over here. You can just look me up on this name, and I have All-Star Superman video coming out now on Friday, going over the comic itself, comparing it to the animated movie, and after that, I'm gonna focus on doing three new movie reviews. That when Superman movie comes out, I'm gonna review it, and then Final Fantasy 4 and the new Naked Gun movie. I'm gonna review those movies as they come out, similarly how I did Sonic the Hedgehog 3 at the end of last year. And once I get those done, it's Watchmen time.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Watchmen is gonna be 12 videos long series. I'm gonna go through issue by issue, comparing it to both adaptations, the Zack Snyder one and the two-parter from last year.
Okay, cool. As for me, what I got coming up on my channel, guys, but first you can follow me at Teladiaplays _ on X, and also at Teladiaplays on Twitch. What I got coming up on my channel, guys, I'll be doing some Marvel Rivals content next week. Yes, I'll be doing some Marvel Rivals. We'll get people on, playing some games, have a fun time, have a blast. New GLC dropped, so we'll be doing some stuff for that. I just recently done my reaction to the trailer for season 3. Please go check that out. It's on the channel, on the video section. And also next Saturday, I'll be doing, like I said before, I'll be doing a fan live stream, hype, Superman hype stream, where you guys can come on stream, celebrate Superman with me and a few other people, and we'll just have a fun, great, amazing time. And I'll also be doing an interview with the Geek of Shiv, and that'll be posted for next week or the week after. But I hope you have enjoyed tonight's stream. I have been your boy Teladiaplays. That has been 𝐂𝐓𝐇, and that has been Jared from Comics League. We will see you next time for another amazing members panel stream for next month. So hope you have enjoyed all this stuff, and I want to apologize again for my brother interrupting me in the beginning of the stream. He's an idiot, and I know he will be. So until next time, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
And may your beauty keep.